light and faith are the theme of the day. Like, I put a few extra candles out because it is light. And this is the season that we remember light with a capital L, I-G-H-T, throughout the world, or throughout most of the world. There's different types of celebration, all surrounding light. So we're at the winter solstice in this hemisphere. So there's things like an ancient Roman celebration of Saturnalia. There's Yule, which is one of my favorites because so much of our traditions are tied to the celebration of Yule. Yule takes place this year from December 21st to January 1st. It's a longer celebration around the winter solstice. It encompasses gratitude and celebrating nature and the changes that it brings. Again, even things like our Christmas tree and putting stars on the tree come from this celebration. And that star figures prominently in the story from Matthew of Jesus's birth. That's where we have the star and the light. The star that prompted Magi's to follow the light, right? And Magi's, I know sometimes we switch Magi to the quote wise men, but they were Magi's, right? Which are priests of the Zoroastrian tradition, the earlier religions of Western Iranians. That's where they came from. They were basically considered magicians and wizards because they studied the science of the world and knew how to combine the natural world with what they learned through watching the stars and watching nature. And if you don't understand something, it turns into magic, right? So the people around them considered them magicians. They were the magicians of the era. So in this tradition of magic, frankincense, which is one of the gifts that were brought by the Magi in Matthew's Christmas story, is associated with the element fire, the sun, light. In Egypt, frankincense was burnt to honor the god Ra, the god of the sun, of light. It's thought to have powerful enough energies to burn away any darkness. In Matthew 5, Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone. In the same way, let your light shine before others." The birth story of Jesus is not a story of a welcoming a savior. It's a story of welcoming the light and that birth of the light and its potential to grow and spread its warmth and its power. It's a reminder that the light found in nature, found in the sun, the light that sometimes grows dim and cold in winter, is never actually gone. It is found in humanity, in you. You are the light of the world. And we all have to admit that sometimes it feels really, really dark. Not just in the winter when, it gets dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Or there's, I forget the name of the town. They are dark for literally months at a time. When sun sets on their winter solstice, they are dark until spring. I can't even imagine that, to live in that kind of darkness. The weight of the world and what is happening around you, or the type of discussions in your path because of just circumstances out of your control, can make one want to put a bowl on top of your light and just hide and let it all just happen around you. I don't know that it's a terrible thing sometimes to acknowledge that we don't have enough fuel for our own light. The challenge is not to stay there. The challenge is to remember that, like the sun and the earth, there are times to shine more and times to rest. The light, though, is always there, always. Even in darker days of winter, we are connected to that light. We are the light. We chose to feel that light through the lens of humanity. We have chosen to recognize that light through humanity. And as humans, we need the light. We grow our food with it. We create our own vitamin D with it. Eric Butterworth postulated that without knowing the actual day of Jesus' birth, it may have been set, and probably was at this time by design. The symbols of re-infusion of the planet with energy force, transcendent light, bringing vibratory rhythms to the lift of the earth through peace on earth, goodwill towards men, and sung by heavenly hosts. Someone said if there were no Christmas, we'd have to invent one. Christmas is like an oasis in a strife-torn world. And we hear someone say, frankly, look what the world is coming to. And we say instead, look what the world is coming into. You were each born into this world with all the potential of your personal light. After winter solstice, the light of our day grows a little teeny bits at a time. You know, sometimes it's not even recognizable. And all those little increments add up. When we are sad or fearful or grieving, our light diminishes. We may make decisions that don't allow our light to shine. We might find that we do that in our own need for healing. It is in these moments when others, their light helps ours stay fueled. We do that for each other. And then we do the same in return for somebody else. This is another story from Eric Butterworth. He says, I love the story of a man who told me the meaning of a Quaker meeting house. Not having the slightest idea of what the Quakers do. And then he sat there with long silence. If you don't know, Quakers come together in the silence. That's part of the ritual, to be with each other in that silence of everything. So the gentleman nothing was going on for him. Nothing was going on. He kept looking around to see. Everybody's just there with their eyes closed. He's like, no one's getting up, nobody's speaking, nobody's preaching, nobody's singing. They're just sitting. And when he couldn't stand it any longer, he leaned over to a man that was next to him and said, when will this service begin? And the reply was, when the meeting is over. This is the time, no matter what the tradition, this is the time of year. It's the meeting. It's the meeting. This is when we have our meeting. However you have chosen to celebrate in your homes and with each other, this is the meeting. It's that hush in the room when there is a sleeping newborn present. It's the silence evident stargazing on a winter's night. It's the stillness of nature as it sleeps and rejuvenates. It is the recognition of light and its importance. It is remembering that we are creatures of light. We are showered with light. We are made from light. We walk always in light. We are light. We serve and shine this recognition in our everyday. When we serve each other, when we allow and we recognize that those that serve us. Beneath the tree of light and life, a blessing at this season to all of you that sit at our hearth. We are the family of light. We celebrate. We offer healing for all. We choose not to fight. We bear no one ill will. We offer what hospitality we are able. And in the name of this season, in the recognition of light that is within us all. Our inner light grows brighter through faith. Pulling back a dark curtain or a curtain in a dark room will drive out the darkness and flood the space with light. We remember that it is at these times when life feels dark, we have the power to live from faith and light, which brings us out of spiritual darkness. Faith helps us believe that even when we can't see it, the light of God is always shining. Little by little, our awareness of divine grows increasingly brighter until we perceive the divine everywhere. We are spiritual beings, inseparable from God. We place our faith in this truth and drive out the darkness of fear and doubt that may have caused us to shrink from the fullness of life. Shining our light in the world, we inspire those around us to grow brighter and to live in faith. John 12:46, we have come as light into the world so that everyone who believes should not remain in darkness. Our inner light grows brighter through faith. Today we honor the faculty of faith and the light, whether it is small as a mustard seed or as large as a mountain. Faith is the energy that carries us forward. It opens our heart, knowing that we are worthy of all good things, including more love. When events around us seem overwhelming, when worry and doubt darken the landscape of our mind, we call forth. In prayer, we affirm that faith will see us through. In meditation, we picture a reservoir of light that can be easily drawn from. That light fuels our faith and fills us with trust and confidence. It lights any load. That light expands our awareness to recognize the presence of spirit in every person, every place, every circumstance. It reminds us to trust in our abilities and believe in ourselves, knowing that we are ever supported by divine. We are the light. That light and faith uplifts our thoughts and words to create a brighter picture. It reminds us to be open to all divine guidance, intuitive knowing, and spiritual nudges. It aids us in knowing that from a divine perspective, all is truly well.